I'd never read Plato before. Myth of the Cave was actually brought into my English class, and I was very moved. And I'm hoping
Use the mic. Thank you.
thought I was.
Okay.
And I'm hoping also that it will move you guys too. Can you hear me? All right. Like that? Okay. Upon hearing the myth of the cave for the first time, I was surprised at how much I agreed with the points of view behind the analogy. I wore Plato's words as if they were a big comfy sweater knitted together just for me. I envisioned the slow procession of men bent beneath their burdens as they plodded steadily forward. I could almost know the weight of the heavy chains bearing down around my neck. The heat felt from the fire behind me hinted of other places, but I am incapable of fathoming those other places. My own reality is no larger than the limited view directly in front of me. Picturing myself in the cave as I listened, the realization that my own view of the world was so similar to someone's from so long ago smashed into my awareness with the impact of a freight train. Countless times I've stated that people are hostage to their inability to look past their own selves. Thousands of years ago, Plato took notice of the same condition in the people around him. So it appears that the nature of humanity has changed very little over the centuries. I was once one of those poor souls bound to only limited points of view. Plato makes reference to their legs and necks chained so that they cannot move and can only see before them. Those chains are not named for what they represent to me, but I am familiar with them. Ignorance, bias, superstition, and fear, to name but few. Like the prisoners held fast underground, I was limited in my own motion starting in childhood. The hypocrisy and blindness that were my parents' beliefs played out before me like shadows on the wall. Distinct in shape, but without the color or definition of true understanding. It was not until I dared to look out the corner of my eye that I caught the faintest glimmer of something more beyond what I thought I knew. From deep inside awoke a surety that there was an alternate existence, one more profound and wondrous than anything that I had previously known. I do believe I am one of the lucky ones. When my bonds were broken, I chose to turn my head and look around. Venturing out into the world for the first time was as blinding to all my senses as the glare of the sun was to the prisoners as they were thrust upwards from the darkness. Even though I saw strange and wondrous things and knew them to be true, I was positive that what I saw and heard and felt in the depths of the cave was still the reality. Just as the prisoners who dared to move into the light were unsure and perplexed at all the things they knew as shadows, I was stubborn in letting go of what I had known in order to open myself up to the myriad of realities that awaited me in the light. It took a long time to grow accustomed to what Plato terms the sight of the upper world. The many paths I've chosen in my new life exposed me to lively, varied peoples with their distinct ways of life and knowledge that I would never have thought possible had I not dared to question my surroundings. Allowing my whole self to accept every person, to mentally devour each shred of knowledge they impart, feeds my soul and adds great joy to my existence. I learned to love, hate, laugh, cry, and embrace all the variety that is life. Not all the people I have met over the years are without chains. Too many people refuse to let go of preconceived notions and dare to truly see the world around them. As I continue my ascent to the light through education, I am painfully aware of how even some of the closest people in my life are left down in the dark. The chains that bind them are but memories to me of a place that I no longer belong. I yearn to crush the chains and drag them kicking and screaming up Plato's steep and rugged ascent and force upon them the experiences and views that I have cultivated from my time in the light. But I cannot. It is not for me to enforce the will of another. They have to decide for themselves to be released and disabused of their era. They must decide for themselves to change their very nature and throw off the chains of ignorance, bigotry, and denial. It is both an ancient and modern truth that many people view their opinions to be the reality, and to a certain degree they look down upon those who choose differently. Plato's analogy of the cave not only suggests separation of people through knowledge, but because of it. My own ideas about the nature of humanity were born by paying attention to the world around me and acknowledging the world that I left behind. I believe that to be content in the confines of ignorance is just another dark hole in the ground. Like Plato stated to his people back home, right or wrong, this is my belief. I may be wrong in feeling that those who choose to stay below are stunted by their ignorance, but it was really nice to learn that my beliefs are in good company. Thank you.